I have noticed that people tend to waste thousands of Swiss francs with their current bank accounts. That's a pity, as you could have kept this money for something else instead of giving it to your bank. Hello, my name is Sebastian, your personal finance expert in Switzerland. This is a real pleasure to welcome you on my channel. In this video, I want to give you an overview of the current banking solutions available in Switzerland for individuals. Hopefully, you should be able to make the right decision after watching this video. All the banks, which will be mentioned in this video, will offer a deposit insurance scheme that protects clients against loss up to the amount of 100,000 Swiss francs, which means that if your bank goes bankrupt, then an insurance will reimburse your fund up to an amount of 100,000 Swiss francs. The only exception to this rule will be the wealth management banks, which usually do not offer such protection. Well, the reality is that the funds available from this insurance would only be used in the instance of a small bank going bankrupt. If major banks such as UBS or Credit Suisse will go bankrupt, then the fund available from this insurance will not be enough to cover all the claims. But this is a story for another video. I have identified 7 major services provided by banks in general. The first one, those are the current account. This is where you receive and make your payments. The second one, a saving account with a higher interest rate, but your cash is going to be locked for a certain period of time. Number 3, foreign exchange services. Number 4, access to a credit card. Number 5, brokerage account to buy financial assets. Number 6, third pillar. And number 7, wealth management services. So most banks will attract new customers by offering free services for a limited period of time. Once you have entered the system, this is when they will propose to you all the range of products and services, which are rather expensive, I tell you. In particular, the foreign exchange, credit card, third pillar, brokerage account, and wealth management, this is in bread and butter, and this is how you end up wasting thousands of Swiss francs over a decade. In this video, we will only focus on finding the best Swiss banks to open a current account so you can receive your salary and make your payments efficiently with low cost, as this is where you do not really have any other alternative. I will make some separate videos about the best foreign exchange services, the best credit card, the best brokerage to buy financial assets, and the best wealth management products. So I would not recommend using your regular bank as their fees are way too high. You can find the link right above. We can distinguish 4 main kinds of banks in Switzerland. The first one, the wealth management banks. To give you some example, you have Pictet, Julius Baer, Bonnet. Those banks are for individuals with assets, I would say, above 1 million, that they want to entirely delegate the investment of their wealth. So I'm not going to discuss about those banks in this video. Number 2, the multinational banks. So those are UBS, Credit Suisse. Those banks, they will offer the entire range of services. However, you will be charged with some of the highest fees. Number 3, I call them the national banks. To give you some example, you have the Cantonal Bank, Bank Migros, Raiffeisen. They will offer the entire range of services, but they have lower fees than the multinational banks. And number 4, that's the newest range of banks, the NeoBanks. So you have Zak, Neon, Those are payment companies which focus on online services. However, they will have partnership with local banks where your funds will be held in trust. So they do not offer the entire range of services, but they offer the lowest fees. Now, I will compare for you the different banks using the following criteria. So here are my criteria. We are 30 years old, we have 7,500 Swiss francs, we're going to make 1 withdrawal, 5 payments, and we have 1 incoming payments per month. And we are using electronic bank statements, so we are entirely paperless. So I have already done a pre-selection of banks, so we can see that the range in price is between 0 and 110 Swiss francs a year for managing your payments only. So let's go further in the analysis and let's see which bank is most appropriate for you. So let's get back to the multinational banks. We will start with the big international banks, UBS and Credit Suisse. Those are the 2 most popular banks in Switzerland that control over 50% of the country's local deposit, and they offer all the products and services mentioned previously. Their big advantages over smaller banks is that they have a lot of ATM where you can withdraw cash for free. I think the rule of thumb is that if you withdraw cash from your own bank, then you're not gonna be charged with extra fees. They also offer personalized wealth management services with more product available and more market analysis. You can also expect services in English. Other than that, those banks are the most expensive. If you still want to go with a multinational bank, then I would recommend UBS over Credit Suisse for the following reason. The first reason is my personal experience with their customer services. It was much more pleasant dealing with UBS than dealing with Credit Suisse. Number two, there have been lots of scandal from Credit Suisse in 2021, which shows that there were issues with their top management culture. So you can see that the stock price of Credit Suisse plummeted to a third of its value, whereas UBS stock price remained stable over a period of 5 years. So for me, the winner would be clearly UBS. That would cost you about 96 Swiss francs a year, which over 10 years will be 1,000 Swiss francs, only for depositing your cash. But I would still recommend hanging to this video as there are some better alternatives with local banks and neobanks. So now we're moving to the local banks. So you will get the same range of product and services as the multinational banks, but at a much lower cost. The main differences between the international and the local banks is that the local bank, they usually offer less ATM, their wealth management services are less personalized, and they may be less proficient in English. So here, between the three local banks that I've chosen, here are the differences. Postfinance. In this selection of banks, Postfinance offer the most ATM. So wherever you can find a post office, you can expect to find an ATM. However, the debit card is not accepted everywhere. So it is sometimes a little bit annoying when you go to a restaurant with a friend and when you're about to pay, you see that your card is getting rejected. So you feel kind of bad. So Bank Migros, this bank is competitive in all aspects at the exception of their banking platform, which I personally do not like. Over all the banks that I've tried, it was very easy for me to log in into their e-banking system. But Bank Migros, you need to download their application and then you need to set up yourself the double authentication security on another device. And also there are some updates where you cannot access the platform, and it usually happens during the weekend when I want to make my payments. So I didn't like this point. Then the third one, Raiffeisen. For me, it's competitive in all aspects. It can be entirely free if you decide not to use their debit card, but with the debit card, it will cost you 40 Swiss francs per year. So in this section, I would recommend Raiffeisen because this is one of the cheapest one. For me, the e-banking platform is one of the best. I think the only drawback I would say is that they do not have that many ATM. They have less ATM than Postfinance, but I don't think it's such an issue. So if you were to choose Raiffeisen, that would cost you 40 Swiss francs a year. So over 10 years, that would be only 400. So now we're moving to the neobanks. So the neobanks, they're very strong to manage payments. However, you need to know that your cash will be deposited in their partner bank. So they're not bank, they're just payment companies. Second point is security. I feel that it is less strong as a regular bank as you're accessing it entirely with your mobile phone, which means in order to access your bank, you need to know the password of your mobile phone and then you need to know the password of your mobile application. So I personally would not leave that much money of my bank account if I were to choose a new bank. I would only leave maybe 1 to 2 months salary, but not more than that. Number 4, and that's a big point. Some of them, they offer a lot of integration with other applications. And last point, they only offer payment and current account solutions. However, some of them, they have some distinct special services. So let's go and see the differences. So from my analysis, the 3 of them would be free of charge. So let's see how they differ. So Zak, it's entirely free for your transaction in Switzerland and you can withdraw free of charge from Bank Club ATM. Otherwise, it will cost you 2 Swiss francs per withdrawal. They offer a third pillar, but I don't think it is a good option. Number 2, Neon. It's entirely free for your transaction in Switzerland and you can make 2 withdrawals per month in any bank's ATM in Switzerland. You will receive a credit card for 10 Swiss francs that can be used worldwide. I think their main feature is in relation to the FX rate. So they offer really competitive FX rate. Of course, we can find better, so I will show you in this video how to have the best FX rate. But for example, if you're just traveling like abroad, you're going to Germany or France just to do some shopping, I think that you can use their credit card just for small amount. And another point, I have the feeling that Neo is more innovative than the other one. So I feel that if you're investing with Neo, they're gonna keep improving their platform, keep improving the services. So I think long-term wise, I think Neo might be a good partner. And the last one, you. So that's a project between Postfinance, which is a local Swiss bank, and Swissquote, which is a Swiss brokerage firm. They offer a brokerage account, but I do not really recommend this option since it is too expensive. So I have another video where you can see what are the best brokerage accounts for Swiss investors. They also, that's one of the best features I feel. So they offer a multi-currency account, which means that you will have only one Swiss IBAN, but this IBAN will allow you to hold an account with 13 currencies. So this is a really good solution if you receive and need to make payments in foreign currencies. However, be really careful with the foreign exchange rate, which is 0.95%. And I will show you in another video, there are much better solutions. So the winner is quite difficult to choose because those three NeoBanks, they offer free services for payment and receiving payment in Switzerland. I would choose Neo over the other one for the following reason. I think it is more user-friendly. I really prefer the platform. And I think in the future, it will develop much more connectivity with other applications. So I think over the long term, it's going to develop much faster than the other one. And the last feature, I think the FX rate, I think it would be really handy if you're traveling abroad and you need a little bit of foreign currencies or you need to make payment in foreign currencies for small amount. I think it can be really handy.